the school that you were in ethnically diverse?
Um, I went to two elementary schools, one through Head Start through third grade, and then for fourth and fifth grade, I went to another one. And the first school was actually, had lots of Hispanics. It was like that was like the biggest demographic for that. So when I went to my new school, it was like, it was really like it was a change. Like it was completely different. It was, um, you could see like there was not as much Hispanics. It was kind of like in like around a subdivision that had just been built. So it was like a lot of wealthy families. When this one was like in the middle of like, you know, a city that wasn't wealthy. So and that was just from like moving and stuff. So like I saw both, I guess, but they were very, very culturally diverse in their own way.
Yeah. What about middle school and high school?
Yes, they were both very. I mean, in high school, I think in every high school you see a little bit of both. But I went to Durant High School, and they had everything. There was, you could see. I mean, how cultures, like different cultures, were definitely like all over the place. So.
Now you said your heritage is Mexican. What symbols or traditions did you participate in that came from
From Mexico. Well, I mean, we have so many, but I don't know what's a big one that we like. I mean, I think I base my traditions off like just family, like things that we like do every year. So like eating certain foods on certain holidays, doing certain things on like Christmas. So it's really good to base myself off, but from like the actual Mexican, like we don't celebrate Cinco de Mayo, like we don't do that. You may think we do, but we don't celebrate that. Like there's like Kid Day in Mexico, and so we do that where every kid like they get some type of like gift. It's called Dia del Niño. So I mean that's something that we've always been a part of. Like my grandma's always like gotten us something when we were kids, anyways. Now they've kind of forgotten. But, so I mean that kind of stuff.
Yeah, my wife and I come from very different backgrounds. She grew up Catholic, so when my kids saw Coco, she started talking to them about All Saints Day because it's so similar to Dia de los Muertos.
Yeah.
And some of her friends are different ethnic descents. She's raising kids to be more in contact with their Mexican culture, and her friend's husband is Mexican culture. So next year they want to do a big,
like the Muertos thing.
yeah, because in our house already we've got and there's a section where it's all pictures of generations like 3 or 4 back.
Oh, that's awesome.
And the kids started calling her no friend after they saw Coco.
Like we have no friend that we didn't even know.
Right. Oops, stop doing that. There you go. Now, was your the neighborhood or community you were in, how different was that than the experience you had at school?
We always lived like super like excluded. Like we never lived in subdivisions or anything, so I was never like. It was like just home, and that was like our area. So like, I guess like I could translate to being at my grandma's house that you could actually like see the community around, because it was first elementary school I went to, and you could see how like it reflected upon like where she lived and where we were. But at like where I lived, I think we were just always like sheltered into like our house and like our yard.
Mm-hmm.
We would never like go beyond that, I feel like. So I mean, but I guess you could see like even now, like you could see like the school and like the area around it. You could see how they go together.
Oh, If you had to pick something that you really like and identify with about being Mexican, that makes you, anytime it pops up, you're like, yes, I'm probably Mexican. What would you say it is?
Oh man. Does it have to be like an object? Or like, no? Okay. I think like just with our families, I guess I would say. Like how close we are. Like if you see like any like Mexican families, like you could see that how close they are and how they bring other people into their families.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's what I love most about like being Mexican, because we are very accepted, like we accept other people if they're not our family. So
Yeah.
I think that's what I like the most about it. That I've seen it in my own family where we have, you know, other people and we bring them in and we don't treat them any different. And we show them like, hey, you can count on us, or you know, I think it's something to be proud of, I guess.
Now, what would you say were your, do you think like being in elementary school was your earliest experience with ethnic diversity?
What? The elementary experience? I think so. I mean, that's where you really saw. I think once I moved to the 4th and 5th grade school, I think that's when I really was like, oh hey, like there's more people out there that are different, because the first school was like it was around a neighborhood that was like Hispanics, like you saw Mexicans there, like, and so whenever I went to, I mean, you would see like other ethnicities, but once I went to that, you were like, hey, at least me, I was like, hey, like there's other people out there, they're different colors or different, you know. So I think that's when it was really like, and the environment changed. So I think that just that switch from that school to that school was the big one.
Yeah, when I was growing up, we grew up in a poor housing project, but when I was really little, the racial diversity there was a lot different. You had blacks, whites, Hispanics, but as I grew older, it gradually became, it was like all black people there.
Yeah.
And you know, going to my elementary school, it was definitely very diverse. It was a working class area, so nobody was rich. Everybody there was poor.
Right.
You could definitely tell it was like the poorest school in the whole district.
Oh, man.
But as far as the ethnic diversity, it was definitely a lot more diverse in my school. Same thing in middle school. But when I went to high school, I went to a private school instead, and I was one of the poorest kids there.
Yeah.
I was there on a work study program, so
Wow.
during vacations I would go and work at school to offset the tuition.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, no, I think you could definitely see the difference, especially when you move from one school to another.
Yeah. Now, after you went to that other school, 4th and 5th grade, did you kind of actively seek out, you know, okay, well, I'm in school with these other people. Did you try and find out more about their culture and where they were from?
I think I did, just because I had new friends, and so like whenever I was at my first school, like it wasn't ever like, okay, I have this friend, can I go over? Like that was never a thing. But whenever I moved over, all these like, you know, people were like, oh, you can come over, I'm having a party, and then we're like, what? You're not, like, I can come to your house, like, and it was like different because I had never lived that, like, with my first school. So I like when I started like doing that and like going over to their houses or meeting, like, you know, my mom was like reaching out to their parents or like doing that kind of stuff. It was definitely like me learning different things when I was over there, and I was like, oh hey, like they do this different than what my family does for dinner, or they're going to bed different, or they do different things for breakfast. Like, so yeah, it was definitely me learning different cultures and how we did things. So,
Now, when you were starting to experience those different things, did you ever like get into a situation where you found some kids who were definitely like turning their nose up at you or other people who put off that superior vibe?
I guess so. I mean, you could. There's always that person that kind of just does that. So, I mean, I definitely sometimes encountered people who were like, well, like especially when I brought friends over, you'd be like, why are you doing that? Or like, how do you, you know? So, I mean, I guess you're always gonna find those people who kind of just look at you different when you do something that they're not used to or something that they don't think is the correct way to do it.
What did your parents say about that? You know, trying to help you deal with it or address it at least.
I mean, it was always like you're yourself. Like you need to like. It was never like you have to be them or they're right or they're wrong. They were always like we all have our different beliefs, and my mom, I think, and dad always made that clear that we did things this way and that was okay, and if we did things that way, that was okay. And I just knew where that like line of separation was, I think. So never that we couldn't like I could never be that or, you know, do the things that they did, but they knew that if I was ever told that what I did was wrong, it wasn't. So if that makes sense. Totally makes sense.
Yeah. When I got to the high school I went to, usually there were like one or two black kids in each class, if that. And you were kind of put in a position where you almost had to it seems sometimes you almost hyper-racialize yourself just so people wouldn't look down on you, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they couldn't dismiss you. You had to bring yourself up to another level.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think I definitely at some points would catch myself doing that. Like, there's like a certain like book bag brand that everyone was like had at my new school, and that's what I asked for. You know what I mean? So it was like little things like that, or catch myself doing things the way they do, or buying things that they were buying, or wanting them anyway. So I think you definitely like try and like be not at their level, but try and be where they are to kind of not make yourself feel like you're lower than them. So, but I mean, there's definitely times where I was like, well, I want that because they have it, or you know, I want to be like everyone has it at my school or at my new school. I want that. So, yeah, it definitely happened.
Okay. So now that you're out of high school, you know, when you're in that forced microcosm where you have to be with other people, do you still find yourself with a similarly diverse group of friends?
Yeah, I mean, I have different like ethnicity friends like that. I would say that they're mostly Hispanic from different countries. So I like have Cuban friends and Puerto Ricans, and so I think that that's where my closest friends come from just being able to relate and connect with them that way. But I also have friends where they're white or black, or you know, at work you find yourself in class, like I mean, where they're different ethnicities or different, they have different cultures, and so I mean, I'm an easy person to like relate with other people, so I don't ever have a problem with relating to. So.
Now, how do your parents and family view work ethic and the amount of time that they expect you to get back to the family?
With work ethic, we've always been hard workers. I've always like seen my mom or dad like always working for what they've wanted. especially my dad.